someone says it's their first time, okay, and I think it's EP Rodman. Is that your first time being here? I'm seeing a couple of people here. Okay, so I take for some people that are on here, this you've been here before, should I say, not here, but you know of us. And the guys that are on YouTube, welcome. How's it going? So we got a couple of people that are in the room, which is awesome. And we also have a couple of people that are watching us from YouTube. And tonight, I just want to say to you guys, embrace or brace yourself. I think that's the right word. Brace yourself for the next roundabout an hour, 30 minutes. An hour, 30 minutes, all of it pumped full of learning. I got my co-host here tonight, and we're just gonna go hard on learning and learning and learning. Okay, good. So welcome. You got your pen and paper, and actually, I mustn't say pen and paper. I should say you got your notebook and paper. Your notebook and pen. If you've got it, say yes. And if you don't have it, we're gonna give you a minute to just go and get it. So I want to see almost about 60 yeses in there. Let's go. If you got your notebook and your pen already. So this is a class. In the class, we need to be interactive. I will ask questions and you will answer. That's how it's gonna work, right? So I'm spending my time here to educate you, and the least that you can do is to respond. So thank you very much for all of you guys that are responding. And for some of you, where are you, right? I've asked the question, do you have your pen and your notebook? And if the answer is yes, say yes. If you don't have, say no. That way, I know that I need to wait for some people or not, or whether I should go ahead, right? So let me know. Okay, awesome. Now I'm getting a whole lot of yeses. Awesome stuff. Good. I like it. So we need to interact with each other. If you're in a class, you know, the way you learn is obviously you interact and you ask the question. So I'm just going to start off by saying that in the chat, you can kind of like put in a comment. In the question and answer, we will then leave that one for the real question. So you got something of a real question that needs an answer on, then you can then come through there. Does it make sense? Right? Okay, awesome stuff. I hope it does make sense to you. All right. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna go through into a presentation mode. My name is TJ, by the way, welcome to Empire Property Addicts. And if you've never been here before, we talk about real estate. Why? Because we do real estate here. That's the thing that we do most. And out of that, or should I say over and above that, we also teach. So you are here today for us to be able to learn about real estate, how you can start. So I'm sure when you signed up, you saw what we're going to be teaching you today. And the whole idea is, how do you start from where you are right now, today? How do you start? And if you've got maybe one or two properties, how do you scale, right? So I just want to see from you at the moment, do you already have a property? Do you have a property that you're already renting out? If it is one property, tell me one. If it is two, say two. If it's got zero, just type in a zero. So the number of properties that you're already today that you own, how many are there? Because I want to see whether we're talking about starting or whether we're talking about scaling, right? So, you know, so over and above the property that you currently have, that you're staying in the property space you're investing in, how many more do you have? Okay, I'm seeing a couple of zeros here. Awesome, thank you for the feedback that you're giving me. A couple of people are saying 1, 2, someone says 3, someone says 0, someone says awesome stuff. Okay, good, awesome, right. Thanks for the feedback. It gives me some comfort to say that, you know, so a lot of us, we are starting off from ground zero, and that's okay, that's okay. So I'm just gonna go into presentation mode. Presentation mode just basically means I cannot see you, but my co-hosts, they'll be able to see you, and they will be able also to give you a little bit of comfort in terms of answering your questions. And when I go into presentation mode, yeah, then I'm not able to see you at all. Right, you can see my presentation. Is that good? Okay, good. Right. So there we go. Right. So we are starting off with we're doing this, which is called starting or scaling your property business. This is what it's all about. But I just want to put up a disclaimer out there to everyone. And this disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, is to say that whatever we're going to be teaching you in here, don't try it at home. No, you should try it at home because this is the lesson. This is the class that we are giving. So we want you to try this at home. However, it has an effect that you can become a millionaire, right? I'm just putting it out there that you know what you're in for. Maybe this is your first time to be here and you're wondering, what is this all about? Well, the information that I'm going to give you, it can make you a millionaire, right? It can give you a high sense of quitting your job to focus on this. The reason why I'm saying this is because it happened to me. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer so that you know, right? Over and above that, you can create what is called generational wealth. Generational wealth. A lot of people, they go out there, they talk about generational wealth. I'm talking about creating real assets that can live longer than you. The other thing is that within this session, you will be experiencing extended periods of excitement with the stuff that I'm going to give you. So don't be shocked if you can't sleep. Don't be shocked if you cannot sleep for 2 nights or even longer. It's normal. I'm just putting it out there that this is what's going to happen to you. And above all, you can start to have alternative income. For some of you, you're in a job right now, right? And you're looking for alternative income. You can have that. And when you start having that, you're going to start having new problems. I call them new life problems. And you're now trying to figure out, what do I do with this money? Do I travel? Do I buy nice things? And this is the disclaimer that I'd like to put out there. Is that good? Let me continue. Right. I just want to talk about mentoring. A lot of people have been reaching out to us. I tell you, there is Lutando there. Lutando says, can you please be my mentor? That was about 2 months ago. Someone says, TJ, I really need a mentor. What must I do? Right? Someone else there put on to say, hey, I've bought in around about 8 properties, they say, right? In the 4 properties in the last 8 months with no help at all in the township, but I need help, right? These are all people that are screaming out for help, for mentoring. What is mentoring? Someone who's going to hold your hand and say, I've done this, and you too can come in and I can help you. And this is what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. I want to give you my second disclaimer to say that if you are looking for such kind, my team and I, we sat down and we looked at this thing. Reta, Seth, and all the team at M5 Property Addicts, and we say, how can we help these people? Obviously, we cannot be mentoring everybody. I mean, this is just a handful of people that have just asked this. But how best can we help everybody? And we said, let's come up with a Black Friday. So this is my disclaimer number 2. At the end of this session, I need you to be in class with me on the 11th and the 12th of December, where not only will you be learning, so you are able to learn in the class and online, and you can bring yourself plus 2 other people for 1,997. Okay, so that's 2 grand there. And over and above that, you're getting a 12 months mentoring. So every second week we'll meet, and the mentoring will go on for the whole year. And obviously, you're going to get lifetime access of the actual bootcamp that we are running. So this is my second disclaimer that, you know, this is what I would want you guys to do. So there's around about 60 of us on here on the call right now. All of you, you can jump in. But this is about changing your own family tree. A lot of you, maybe you come from an experience like me, where, you know, you've got you fall within a family, but actually you don't have a family. You have no backup. You have no family in terms of, you know, your father and mother are not there. Maybe they're there, but, you know, they're not millionaires and they don't have money. So I'm going to give you guys a short story. In this book here that I wrote, which is called From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. And I introduced myself in the terms of how I grew up. So both my parents abandoned me at a very young age. And with growing up, I actually realized that I do not have a backup in terms of financial backup. So if I fail and my wife fails, we're going to go into bankruptcy. That's what it basically means, right? So how can I then start to change my family tree going forward to making sure that at least I've got a financial backup? And I want to ask of you this question. Actually, I want to stop the presentation and ask you guys a question to say, for the guys that are in the room, obviously I cannot see the guys that are on YouTube, but you know, I'll jump on there a little bit later to get some comments. But for the guys that are on the room, I want to ask you of a question to say, in your family right now, if things were to go wrong at your job or wherever you are, do you actually have someone you guaranteeing that today you can go in and you can say, hey, I've got my 3 kids, can I move in with you? And if you've got that person, just type in yes in there. And if you don't have, you don't have. Because for me, I don't have. I don't have that because of the way that I was raised. I'm the only child, but then again, I was abandoned. And then from there on, I had to actually look for ways and means to make sure that from a financial perspective, I am solid on my own, you know? So I'm looking out here in the comments and I just want to hear from you, right? This is a personal question that I'm asking of you. Do you have a backup? If you get retrenched today, right? If you get retrenched today, or your financial circumstances changes on your job right now, and you've got nothing, do you have a backup, right? I'm asking here, and I'm gonna wait to hear the comments or to read the comments here. A couple of people are saying, I have no one. What will happen if you got retrenched? You know, that's the question here that I'm asking you. Do you have a backup? By the way, I'm not here to just talk. I like to engage with people. This is a class. In the class, I ask a question and you respond. If you don't respond, we don't move. It's just as simple as that, right? Couple of people, I've got no backup. I can go home to my parents. Good for you, you've got parents at least. Someone else, no, I don't have. Someone else, no, I don't have, right? Oh, someone says yes, but don't want to depend on them, okay, all right? Where's the others? Where are you? That's the question that I'm asking you. Where are you? Do you have someone else that is dependent that you can actually go in and you can just move in, right? And they'll be like, nah, but I will look after you. So a couple of you are saying you can go back home, right? Now, the thing is, I don't have that home. Some of you guys, you're lucky, you've got that home. I don't have that, right? But here is the thing. If you can go back home, that basically means that there is some form of financial aid that you're already giving today. And tomorrow when you are there, maybe they can welcome you. But what I want to teach you guys today is something that is beyond that. Make sure that you don't have to be dependent even of going back home. You can be dependent on yourself. And I want to introduce you guys to what I call creating generational wealth. And some of you guys, you're saying you can go back home. It basically means that your parents right now, they cannot even sustain where you are today, right? That's what it basically means. Because if you're going back home, it just basically means that that's your backup. But if your parents had generational wealth, you would stay wherever you are, and then they'll be able to look after you wherever you are staying at right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what I want to teach you today. Creating freedom in terms of wealth. But I want this to happen with an asset class that I like to do it in. And this asset class is called property. And you can do this. I've been doing this. A lot of us on M5 Property Addicts, we've been doing this. Does it make sense? Okay. So I just want to ask of you guys, what is the minimum income that you would like? What is your minimum income? If I'm to say to you guys, let's go out there, let's start a property business. And what would be the minimum amount of money that you would like to get as a one-on-one, right? I want to see in the chat there. I just want to ask you a question. What is the minimum amount of money? So let's assume we are now going into this business. You are here to learn. So what is the minimum amount of money that you'd like to replace, right? Someone says 10,000, someone says 50,000, okay? Another person says 10,000, 50,000, oof, 25,000, 30,000, 28,000, 20,000, 25,000, 50,000. The guys on YouTube, I see you, at least 150,000, someone says, 35K, 50K, 50K. All right, awesome stuff. Thanks for the feedback, by the way. I really appreciate that. It makes me feel like, you know, you're talking to me here, and I can help you at the point of where you want. Now, a lot of 50Ks. Someone says 200K. Oh, I like you already, Pindile. I think it is the name there. 200K, we can do cool things. So at a bare minimum, this is 101, and I think the average here is 50,000. So allow me to teach you on how we can get to 50,000, right? And someone says $1 million will do. Okay, good. I can help you to get to the milli, by the way, right? I can get you to get to the milli, right? Is that okay if I teach you that? And that's what I want to teach you guys tonight. I want to get you to a point where you can have 50,000 cash flow every 30 days. And I want to teach you, someone else says they would like $1 million, right? And I'll teach you 50K every month coming in your bank account, 30 days, ding. And on the other side, $1 million, right? So how can we get there? That's the question. So thanks for your feedback. I'm just gonna jump on back to my presentation there so that we can go ahead. All right, awesome. So we got that out of the way. Now, why would a lot of people now fail? So you guys are saying you are ready to learn. But I also want to put out a disclaimer that not a lot of you are going to learn. Some of you are going to be like, okay, you have learned in here, but you're not going to follow up. Some of you are going to get distracted and you are going to fail in property. What's going to happen tomorrow, December is coming through, and you're going to get distracted with the holidays and you're not going to follow through on this. You put this on the side and boom, you're not going to be making money out of it. There's a lot of you in the room right now who might probably have a perception of saying, for me to do this, I need to be rich. You don't need money. I started off with minus 5 million. Potentially you're going to start and then you get disappointed. Yes, that happens too. And then you're going to start failing again. I'm going to be giving you accountability because every second week we're going to be meeting in the mentorings. If you are coming with us on the 1,997, right? And that's a lot of people fail because they have no accountability. Nobody's checking in with them to say what's happening. I'm gonna give you that if you're coming through. Oh no, will it work? You're in doubt. We're doing it already, but you're in doubt. Will it work? And that's the reason why you fail. The other reason is that you think you know it all. You think that properties like these ones make sense. So your cup is full. You can't be taught, right? And you're scared to go in debt. Well, rich people are always using debt to make more money. And you got lack of knowledge, but I'm grateful for the fact that you're here because you know that you do not have this knowledge. So let's remove all the negativity right now. So in your notebook right now, just write in there a big no negativity, right? No fear. Just put it there in your notebook. No fear. I'll not be scared anymore, right? No negativity here. I won't be getting afraid. Now, whilst you're here, I don't want you to be information junkies. What are information junkies? You're coming into this webinar. Next week, you're going to go to John Brown's one. Next week, you're going to go to Susan's one. Another week, and all you're doing is you are collecting data and collecting data, and you are that person who sits at the braai and you talk about all this information, but no action. So I want you to stop doing that because people that fail in property, that's what they become. They know everything via informations of other people, but they are not practicing. I want you to practice. There's a cool building that we recently bought. It's about a year and a half now since we bought this property, and it's about a 20-unit block of flats. You can do that. You can do that. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't have to go alone and buy stuff like this, right? If you got the right education right now, today, I've just offered it to you at 1,997. You can come to the class, you start getting the right education. You get the right support, I've just offered that to you. For the next 1 year, my team and I will be meeting with you to give you the support so that you are successful, okay? You are working, guys, with a team. Some of you might not know us. We are in 5 cities. We are in Port, Durban, Cape Town, Pretoria, Cape Town, right? And we're doing properties in those areas. 200 tenants, 350 students. We can teach you the same stuff that we are doing. And with that, you can start to learn. We've got a program that is called Property Business Accelerator, where some of the guys comes through and we physically go and see some of these properties to see how best can you do that. But what I'm just giving you now is at 1,997, you can come in. Imagine if you can help you have the right structures to structure a business. A lot of you probably right now, you're saying that you've got 2 properties, 1 property, and you already have them in your name. That's wrong. It's not going to get you far. The NCA is going to create a limit. There's a limit on you, but there is structures in which you can do it better. We can teach you how to find private money. I've got just above 400 investors that have invested with us. Probably, I think that number might have gone up to another 100 or so within the last couple of months, right? Money is not a problem. There is money everywhere, but you just need to be able to know. We will teach you and guide you so that you can have a profitable business. Just yesterday, I passed a deal to someone. It's cash flowing around about 5,000, and that person, they're buying that deal for about 1,400. Sorry, not 1,400, 1.4 million, and they're buying that property, and it's cash flowing for them, right? It's in an area there that we're not specializing in, but they are in that area, and we pass that deal to them. They are part of the network, and that's what you're joining into, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to speak to you that traditionally, what you are joining in onto the 11th and the 12th, if it wasn't for Black Friday, so remember this promo is a Black Friday one, right? You are going to be learning. So all of these things that you're going to be getting. So for instance, you're getting there's a pre-course work that you're getting. Over and above that, you're getting live access. Over and above that, you're getting access to, we've got a learning platform that's called the M5 Varsity. And over and above that, you're getting my book here that I'm giving you. If it wasn't for the Black Friday, just the mentoring alone, mentoring sessions, for you to see me, it's about 1,000 Rand. For you to see Reta, it's 1,000 Rand. Okay, that's the retail price. You can jump on our website, you can see that. But we are giving you 26 sessions that we are going to be giving you. And that 26 sessions is equivalent to 25,000 Rand. And tonight, you are getting it at 1,997. That's a good deal. Black Friday has never been black before. It's never been this good. Or black has never been this black before. Okay? So in the link, I think in the chat there, we're going to drop you the link where you are able to actually get your Black Friday promo. By the way, when you pay for one, you can bring in 2 people. Oh, come on, right? You pay for one, 1,997, and then you bring 2 other people. The 2 other people will be in the class. So this is what it's all about. You don't have to pay 25,000. You will pay 1,997, and boom, you're getting all of that. Follow the link that's in the chat. I'm just gonna start giving you a little bit of learning now. You know what you're getting yourself into. And Reta is going to jump in here and talk to us around how you can buy money, right? How do you buy money? And I'm just going to go and pause here. Reta, you there? We can't hear you there. Your sound is gone. Okay, right. So I'm just going to continue on this section here whilst Rita is coming into the room. Said just check on the sound there with Rita to see whether she's having challenges. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to introduce you to what is it all about buying money? What is buying money? So a lot of us don't actually understand the fact that the banks are there to sell money, right? That's the primary reason why banks are in existence.
Can you hear me now?
Banks, yeah, you're back now. Thank you very much. The sound is good. Right.
Sorry, man.
So Rita,
yeah,
go for it. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, man. I was out today at on site at one of our newest student accommodation properties. It's 71 students that we're doing there. Oh, lots of stress, lots of things and to organize. So yeah, and then
getting better. I thought it was 60.
Well, with the extension, it's 71. So yeah, but so it's even better than the 60 we originally thought. So I'm very excited about that. But yeah, whenever I go out to site, then my sound needs to be switched. So sorry about that.
No problem. Rita, you are wanting to jump in here and talk about, introducing the fact of, the banks are there for the purposes of selling money. I think a lot of people don't realize that. They think that the banks are there for one reason or the other. You want to take on that?
Yeah, so it's very weird concept, okay? But the purpose of the bank is to sell money. They actually have targets. So how does the bank sell money? Right? They sell it in the form of a loan, either credit card loans or a bond. And you can literally go, and I like to call it purchase that money. Okay. Now, it does sound a little bit weird, but they actually have targets on how much money they are supposed to sell or to loan out to people. Why do they like to sell money? Because they give it to, they take, and how do they do that? They take it from normal people that save their money in the bank. They multiply it by 4, and that's the amount that they are allowed to sell or to loan out to normal people out there in the form of bonds and credit cards and all the other products that they have. So they love it that you save money, you put it in the bank. And by the way, I saw on Facebook actually, last night, somebody did a very nice calculation. And if you have 100,000 rands in your account right now, a year from now, considering the inflation and all of that, the equivalent amount that you have at the end of that year is actually 92,300. But the bank loves it that you put that money into the bank because, number one, they can sell that money to other people that wants to loan money. And when they sell that money, they slap on a nice thing called interest, and that is what they charge for the money that they give you. All right, so I hope you sort of understand that concept. And we love to cut them out and get people to save directly with us. But anyway, that's a story for a different day. But what we don't understand is that we have worked with multiple banks, and they actually have to sell one of the smaller banks that we're working with. They need to sell 50 million rands worth of money or bonds by the end of 2021. And they are very desperate to actually sell it to you. So what if you could just go to the bank and knock on the door and say, I want to buy some money? They're going to think you're crazy, okay? So don't do that. But what you're going to do is you're going to say to them, I want a loan. How do they then evaluate can they sell this money to you? So obviously you have to pay it back with the interest amount that they require. So therefore they're going to look at your credit score. Now, I don't know if everybody of you on here know how to get your credit score. If you don't know, just say no there in the chat, and I will get one of the guys to give you the link. But you can get your credit score, you can view it online for free at clearscore.com. Okay, you're going to put your ID and some verification in there, and you can then get your credit score. Now, the higher your credit score, the better it is, and the easier the banks will sell money to you or give you a loan. Now, what makes up that credit score? A few things. They want to make sure that you can afford to pay that loan back. So they're going to look at how much loans do you have. So your credit score people will report that you have all of these loans and that you are paying it back on time every single month, right? So the more things you have that you pay every single month on time, the better your score. They also want to make sure that even if, so you would think, oh, great, I don't have any debt, I don't have anything like that, so therefore I must have a fantastic score. But it doesn't work like that, because they want to see that you are responsible with your money. And that is almost like, it's almost like a rating app like Airbnb, where you do something and somebody rates you, and that's sort of the process that happens there on your credit score. Okay, so you need to then say that so you want so the one way is that you need to have debt, and it's going to show how well you are paying that debt back. Then the second thing is that they would want to see how much of that debt are you actually using. So whenever somebody tells me, like, I went and I asked for credit cards from all the banks out there, okay? So I like credit cards. Now people think, oh, credit cards, it's like evil. It's not. It's what you buy with it that's actually evil. TJ, why are you fiddling with the presentation there? You're distracting me. Am I boring you?
No, I was looking for the pointer for you on the next slide.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll stop.
All right. So then the thing is that what do you then? So I like to have this credit card. So I went to all the banks and I said, please give me credit cards. They all gave me. And whenever somebody gives me a credit card, I say, thank you very much. Now, the problem is not with the credit card itself. The problem is with what you buy with that credit card. Okay, if you go out and buy some shoes, I hate shoes, so I don't buy that, but I buy other stupid things sometimes. And that is the bad part of credit card, and having that loan is because of what you buy, because we tend to buy liabilities, and I'll go into that a bit later. But the more credit you have, if you only use a small percentage of it, less than 50% of your available credit, then that actually counts in your favor, because the banks feel that you are responsible and you know how to manage credit. If you use more than 50%, it counts against you, because they say that, oh no, you like to live on the limit and that sort of thing, and that then actually makes your credit score worse again. So you need to make sure that you only use less than 5% of your available credit. And I will also tell you that I once bought a house on my credit card. Okay, it is possible for you to do that. And I've done that multiple times, actually. So having a credit card is not bad. And also, the more you work with the banks, and the more money, and the more I used to, when I used to work, right, the bank would always call me, do you want to upgrade to platinum? Do you want to upgrade to this and that? And I would always say no, because the fees, my bank fees are so expensive, right? But guess what? When I eventually started saying yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, and I just kept on upgrading, eventually I got to a package where once you're on that package, it automatically reduced my credit card interest amount to be the same as what I would pay for a bond. Okay, so now I'm sitting here with credit cards that I need to pay, but at a very, very affordable rate. So how much am I now actually saving, even though my monthly fee is going up a little bit, but my overall savings on interest is huge. So when you show the banks that you're responsible with your money, then you can get onto these packages, and they can actually, and it can actually save you a lot of money in the interim by doing all of that. So these are just some of the small tricks that you can do. And also the higher up you are in your ratings with the bank, they will offer you different types of products that they won't offer normal people with just a normal gold credit card or a gold card or a check card or whatever. You know, they will give you special rates. They will give you special, you get double the points at F&B. We all love our e-bucks. So you get more e-bucks than you would on the lower packages. So all of those things eventually add up quite a lot. And at one point, I even joined a supercar club. I bought a supercar just to get into the supercar club so that I can get into the inner circles of how the banks work with the ultra rich in South Africa. And the type of things they offer you there is completely different, because they think that you don't need it as a normal person. But if you do things in a clever way, you will actually be able to use what they offer those guys. So very important to have your credit score, have it at a very good rate, and understand how do you, the decisions that you make and the transactions that you do, how to do transactions that don't appear on your credit record, okay? So that you can get more funding from the banks and you don't run out of affordability. In the beginning, when I started, I did it completely wrong, and eventually I learned how to do it right. So those are all the tips and tricks as well that we will go into a bit of more detail in the actual bootcamp. All right, so then the next thing I want to explain, and the guys on here that are following Robert Kiyosaki, this will be very familiar to you, all right? And as everybody should know, Robert Kiyosaki, he was in South Africa, and we went to a 2-week training course with him where he was promoting his book and doing his book called Fake. And he was also teaching about how to get ready for then what happened like 6 months later, which was this whole COVID thing. And he was talking, his preachings or his teachings really goes around your income and balance sheet, and how the middle class and the poor, how they manage their money versus the rich. Okay, and it's a bit of a weird concept, because the first time I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, I didn't really understand. I thought, oh, okay, this sounds very good, but how do you actually do it? Okay, I'm in this situation, I'm an employee, I can see that I'm in this situation, but how do I get out of it? So I want to try and explain this model to you guys as well, from an employee point of view, where I used to be versus how I do things differently now. Okay, so every person has an income statement and a balance sheet. So when you apply for a bond, they don't tell you your income statement and balance sheet. They will just tell us what your income and expenses, but that's your income statement. So you can almost treat yourself as a business, and you can do these calculations for yourself as well. Now, obviously, what's income? In normal circumstances, that's your salary, right? So every month your salary comes in, you then take that salary, and you pay, your debit order starts going off. Ping, ping, ping. That's all your expenses, and gone is the money on the 3rd or the 5th of every month. If you're lucky, it lasts till the 10th. And after that, you're broke pretty much for the rest of the month. So, and how do we accumulate these expenses? It's because we use our salary to buy liabilities. Now, liability is something that takes money out of your bank account every month. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's a car, it takes money out of your account every month, it's a liability. If it's a house and that house takes money out of your bank account every month, it's a liability. If anything that you can think of. So I always like to tell my kids they are also my liabilities, but hopefully they are also assets. So one day when I'm old, I keep threatening them that I'm going to move in with them. So that's also that's sort of the difference of with your liabilities. Then what are assets? Assets are things that brings money into your bank account. Okay. That can be a car again, because why? A car, you might be an Uber driver, and that car is now bringing money into your pocket every month. Therefore, you have now turned a liability into an asset. Same with a house. If you rent it out, if you have a granny flat, or if you have a garage that you can turn into a Airbnb somewhere, it can become an asset instead of you just paying every month for whatever it is that you have to, because you're getting an income from it. Assets are things that brings money into your pocket every month. Okay, so normal people, normal employees would normally go salary, and then they'd buy a car. That was the first thing I did when I earned my salary. I bought myself a car, and then a nicer car, and then an even nicer car. So that was a very bad idea. I wish I had somebody that explained this to me when I was younger, but that's what you do. You get your income, you buy a car, and you pay for that car every month. So we accumulate liabilities that we just have to pay for every single month. Okay. Now, what does the rich do? Okay, they do the same thing. Something slightly different. They will get income. Okay, now how do you get rich? I still took my salary, which was my income, but now instead of getting a nicer car or a liability that's going to take money out of my pocket, I bought an asset that brings in more money into my pocket. So I went out and I started out buying rental properties. Okay, so my salary came in. I used that salary to put it down to the bank as affordability in the form of my credit record. And that credit record with my affordability I could buy an asset, a house. Okay, do I pay for that house every single month? Yes, I have a portion of debt that I'm paying because I got a loan from the bank, but I get rental in on those properties. And the rental that I get is more than the expenses I have on the liability side. And therefore, it's an asset. So that money is bringing in that salary that I used, my credit record, bought an asset that's bringing in even more money into my bank account. And now I can use that again. My affordability has grown and I can get another asset and another one and another one. And that's how it goes. And that way, eventually, your income from your assets will be greater than your income from your salary. And that is the way that teacher and myself and everybody in our business, how we got out of jobs. We fired ourselves. We fired our bosses. I like to say that more. And we were able to do that and it takes time to build that. It's a simple concept, a simple process, but it's not easy to execute. But with the right knowledge and the right perseverance and not getting scared with all of the things that TJ mentioned, it is definitely possible. And you then have your income statement and your balance sheet that works for you to get you out of your job if that's what you want, or get you into nice holidays and other choices that you might not have right now. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it did. So, ladies and gentlemen, so Rita and I, what we're going to be doing here is we're going to play a bit of a ping pong. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of deals. And I'm going to show you, this is kind of like deal number one. And I like to speak about this deal because it's an easy numbers. Anyone can get to this deal here. And then as we go along with different deals, we start getting a little bit complicated in the deals themselves. But what I'm going to do now is that this is a property. So I'm giving you scenarios as we go along. Remember, the goal is 50,000, right? We did say that on today's class is how can we get to a 50,000 or a million, right? I'm not wanting to shock everybody. I'm wanting us to go through easy by easy, incrementally up until we get to the 50,000. And hopefully by the end of this session, you can go and do this. Or you can then decide to say, well, I want to do this. I want to be in the class so that I can know a little bit deeper. And if that's you, then sharp. We will see you in the class on the 11th and the 12th. So this deal here, a 2-bed, 1-bath, found this property here online with an estate agent, and they were asking for around about 390 on it, and boom, we got it for 160,000. Okay, we had an investor here that we worked with, and we renovated this place for around about 50,000. So now we're all in for around about 210. Rita and I, we didn't put, well, I put in about 1,000 rand on this year, but we didn't put any of the other money. The investor came in with the 209,000. Let's just call it 210, right? But over and above that, we're renting this place for around about 5,000. Eventually, when we finished renting it out, and we had a couple of expenses on there. But I want us to see the effects on the income statement. Remember, we spoke about that document. Guys, the income statement is your report in terms of how well are you getting rich. I'm going to repeat that statement again. The income statement and the balance sheet are the only report that can define how rich you are. So there's no any other measuring format. Those are the two. So I was in class one day and I realized, flip, I didn't even know what an income statement or a balance sheet was at the time. And if you don't know what it is, how then can you improve it? And if you don't know what it is, how then can you start adding assets onto it? So that's the first thing that I'd like us to learn today. An income statement and a balance sheet. Rita has already given you a brief of what it is, right? But your homework number one today, before you come to class, figure out where you are on your income statement versus your balance sheet. And then when we meet on the 11th and the 12th, we can already start to talk about how can we help you to move ahead and to make it more profitable for you. This is about your family, not my family, Rita's family. We're doing this already. And this is about helping you so that we can get forward. So Rita, what's the effect here of on the income statement on a deal like this one? I'll stop sharing. And then let's jump on to your side there. And by the way, for some of you who are late, thanks for joining us, but next time don't be late. Not acceptable.
All right, so basically on your income statement, I'm going to call it here Kempton Park. That's where this property was. And this property, if you didn't see it there on TJ's presentation, was bringing in 4,000 rands a month. Okay, 5,000 rands a month. That was the rental that he got paid from this property. Okay, so that's the income part. Expenses part, I'm also just going to name it so that we know which property we were working on. This expenses was 1,000 rands. Now you'll remember that was rates and taxes and your levies. Okay, so that then means that you are getting a total cash flow of 4,000 rands. Now that is what we as property investors use. The word cash flow for the profit, the same as profit that you make from your rentals. Okay, so we always say, oh, this property is cash flowing. That just means that you are actually making money on this rental and it is coming in after all your expenses is paid. It's bringing money into your check account. Okay, then on the asset side, what happened is that on this property, it was advertised for 390, but they ended up buying it for 160. They renovated it for 50,000 rands, and then they were able to get a valuation on this property of 450,000 rands. So your asset value is actually 450,000 rands. Okay, so I hope you guys are with me. That is the value of what your property is after you've renovated it. On your liability side, what is that? They bought this property cash, right? However, the investor came on board and he paid that money cash. So that money was still owed back to him. Okay, it's almost like the bank, except it's a private investor. So there was still a liability or money owed to the investor of 210,000 rands. Okay, and that then gives you equity, okay, of 240,000 rands. Now, equity means that is your total asset value minus your liability amount. So that is called owner's equity. And now you can only access that money when two things happen. Number one, you can access it when you sell the property, okay? Because you're going to sell it for 450, you're going to pay back the investor, and that money is going to come to your account, right? Or you can get this property refinanced, but refinancing is a whole different class. But just know that you can refinance that and extract some of that equity out of that property. Okay, but that's a bit more complex, so we're not going to go into that detail tonight. So that is, and I like to call this my property savings account. Okay, so this is like a fixed term savings account that you would have with a bank, 12 months notice or whatever you guys want to call it, or 5 years with Alan Gray or one of those fancy guys. But this is money that's sitting in there. It's your money. It's available. You can get it, but you're going to have to either sell the property or refinance the property to actually get that money into your account and use it. All right. So that is what equity is and cash flow. So those are the two important items that I just wanted to explain as well in this section.
Cool. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you've got any questions, right, in the question and answer, just drop your questions in there. But I'm going to continue there, and I'll jump on to the next slide just for you to make. I'm just trying so that you can see here. So that deal alone has already improved our income statement towards our 50,000. And that deal alone has also created a bit of equity for us, right? So you can see that. I'm just going to jump on to the next one here that I want to show you guys. So this was deal number one. Easy. Anyone can jump into it. 160,000. Someone is asking the question, how do you get it at 160,000? When you become a property investor, there's a couple of skills that you need to learn. Accounting is one, right? Another one also is negotiating is another skill, right? So there's many skills that you need to build. Presentation is another skill. So there's many skills that you now need to start building if you don't have these skills, right? But these are the nice problems that I was telling you earlier on to say that when the game starts, the learning can become very interesting. I'm going to jump on into a different deal. And this deal here is a deal that we did not so long ago in an area called, so we're just going to call it Albert Lutuli project. And basically it is a student accommodation that we jumped into, 17 beds. And M5, we went into this deal with no money of our own. So this deal here, yes, we paid our 1.5, but that was none of our money, right? So the rewards that we're getting in here on this deal is called actually infinity returns. A lot of you might not even know what it is, infinity returns, because you just generally used to return on investment. What is my return on investment? What's the bank giving you? 5%. Oh, okay, good, that's good. And then you kind of like thinking, oh, maybe 20% is good. No, you need to get into a space of what is called infinity returns. And we'll talk about that a little bit later when we start talking about it. But let's jump onto this deal. 1.52, that's what we bought it for. The gross income there is 53. We got an expense of 37. The property valuation there was 2 million rand. Okay, just above 2 million rand. And Rita, I'm going to jump on there and we can start to talk about what's the effect of the income statement and the balance sheet. And I'm trusting that we're all following. If you're not following right now, you're getting lost, that's okay. Ask the question in the question and answer there. And if already at the moment, deal number one, we're on cash flow 4,000, got a better equity on 240. Let's see how we're going to get to $1 million.
All right, so this property, we said there that the income there is 53,720. All right, a month. And here you will get the expenses was 37,342. So now our monthly cash flow or our profit is sitting at 20,378 rand. And then the asset value there, this is now after the income, because this is now a little bit of a commercial property. So after the income was increased, we managed to get a higher valuation of 2 million rands, right? And your liability amount, okay, was that 1.52 million. And by the way, that included everything, like a little conversion, the purchase price, the transfer fees, anything that you can think of, right? I'm adding that up, and that was the total liability amount. So now your savings account, your property savings account, your equity has now grown to 720,000 rand. So if you sold these two properties, you would actually have that money in your account.
I want to ask you the question. We are 2 deals in, we're chasing 50K. You've got a cash flow on 20,000. I remember a couple of people, they were looking for 20,000, 10,000, 15,000. Boom, we've done it. Well done. Okay, well done. Let's clap hands for ourselves. This is celebrations, guys. We celebrate every moment of our success. You celebrate. When we got that deal for 4,000, you celebrate. That's 4,000 that we didn't have before. Okay? And now we're on 20 grand. And now we're celebrating a little bit harder, right? Hey, we are a quarter away from $1 million. We're on 700,000, almost there, right? Almost there. We're just about to get to be a millionaire, right? I'm going to stop there and I'm going to jump on to another deal, right? Let's go on to another deal. And this is what it's all about. You're just doing one deal at a time, right? Can you do this deal, one deal a year, one deal in 6 months, one deal a month? I don't know. But once you have learned how to do these deals, it becomes easier and easier. The whole point of all of those guys that started off with 0 deals is to start. For some of you who have already bought maybe 1 or 2, how do you scale it? How do you start specializing in a particular area? This year is a student accommodation. It's a strategy that you need to learn, right? I don't recommend anyone to just go and start doing student accommodation. You need to learn how to do it because things can go wrong. You can lose money, right? Okay, let me jump on to another deal. And this one here, it is another deal as well. This is more of another student accommodation. And I am going to talk about this one, which is, let me see, right. So an 18-bed on phase 1, right? Actually, this thing here, it's got a development that we're busy with now, but I'm just going to talk about the phase 1. And the phase 1 of this is that at the moment, the capital expenditure on this year is a 1.7, monthly gross rental of 56, expense on 23, the valuation on this thing was 2.9. Okay. The bank ABSA came out and then they said 2.9 on this thing, they will hook us up 2.9 on it. Hold on. But you're buying the property for 1.7. Why? That's what they asked for. We gave them what they wanted. The valuation was a different story. It favored us, we banked it, right? And Rita, what's the effect there on our balance sheet and income statement?
Right. So what you'll see now is that I'm going to call this rates, and the income there was 56,880. Our expenses is 23,602. So now we're sitting on a total cash flow of 53,000 rands, and this is profit, guys. So your bond repayments are already into these amounts already. Okay, your water, electricity, rates and taxes, every single thing is into this. And these are real deals that we bought and that we are operating already in 2021. All of these deals we were doing. Okay, so these numbers aren't made up. These are the actual numbers that we are getting from these properties. It's very important to understand that part. So we had a valuation of 2.9 million and we paid 172. By the way, this specific property also came with furniture, with accreditation, with everything, with students. We just literally took it over. We optimized, we tweaked a few things based on how we do things in other provinces. And because we were able to increase the rental there, we got a much higher valuation. Right. And therefore, we have now jumped our total equity amount. Our savings account is now sitting at 1.9 million rands. Okay, so I want to also at this time, TJ, do you have another deal that we're going to add, or can I show them the effects of compounding and all of that?
I'm a little bit cut in between, because I've got another deal here where I just wanted to showcase the fact that once you're doing stuff, there is that one deal that can change the game. It can kill everything else that you've been doing, and it can elevate you into different space, right? But whilst we are here, right, I think it might be important for us, let's do that exercise, right, before I jump onto that one deal. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I wanted to also show you guys what's going to happen if, so you remember, I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you, I'm not going to say all areas everywhere, okay? But if you buy in the right areas and there's just normal growth, nothing fantastic, just normal growth, the value of the properties grow over time. Okay, so we always say property is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not. It's a long-term game, and that's why we're talking legacy as well, right? And therefore, property values over 10 years double. That has been proven over hundreds and hundreds of years, okay? But tonight, I'm going to say, what is this going to look like after 10 years, okay? Now, I'm not going to make it double, because you're going to tell me, yeah, but what if I buy here and there and it's not going to work like that? I'm saying, okay, fine. But let's assume then that it grows by 50%, not 100%, just 50%. Okay, so how much would your asset value then be? I multiply that by 1.5. Okay, your asset value is now 8 million rands, and therefore your equity has now grown to 4.5 million over 10 years. Okay, but at the same time, you will be paying your debt back. So let's say that this investor, you were paying him back monthly, and these guys, the banks, we're paying them back. So we know there's an amortization schedule, and it's probably, I'm going to divide it by 2. If you go and check the amortization, it's not going to be exactly that, but it'll be close to that. Okay, so I'm just going to take these 3 values and I'm going to divide it by 2. So after 10 years, you're going to pay this some of this money back. So after 10 years, you now have equity of 6.3 million rands. Now that for me is already mind-blowing, but I want to show you one more thing, because I always used to forget about this part, okay? Over the 10 years, you have been receiving this 53,000 rands, isn't it? You were getting it and you were spending it, okay? Buying all those nice things and the holidays, and for me, school fees, because flip, those kids are expensive. So I'll just say that it's that, you were getting that 12 months of the year for 10 years. So over 10 years, you would have received into your bank account 6.4 million rands that you were spending. So in total, just from these three very simple properties, you got paid 12.7 million rands. Okay, now I want to ask you, what pension fund out there will give you 12.7 million rands after 10 years only 10 years, right? I worked for 20 years at a company. I was a senior exec. 15% of my salary went into my pension fund. I did not get that when I resigned. I didn't even get a quarter of that when I resigned. I didn't get close to that. And this is what property can do for you if you do it right. And that's where I will end off tonight. And just think about that, because this gave me sleepless nights when I did this calculation the first time.
Yeah. Rita, thanks a lot on that, right? So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not coming with us to the bootcamp, that's fine. That's okay. We might not be for you, but at least be aware of these things that we're talking about. You know, Rita and I, it took us a bit of time to get there, and we're giving this to you on a kind of like a silver platter. Say, hey, you spent an hour with us already, and you're getting value to say you can go back on your salary or whatever it is and start asking questions. How much am I contributing to my pension? Can I not be contributing that to my bond or to a property or something? I'm not saying that's what you should do, but I'm just giving you here what is out there so that you can learn. And if you know, at least you can change your game. It's about changing your own game. Remember, I said to you guys, this is about your own family tree. Yours, not ours. We're doing it. You can see we're doing it. So I'm going to show you the one deal. And we in partnership here. This is not our deal. But I almost want to say to you guys, the more you are going to be jumping in and do things, and you are learning and you're doing, opportunities starts coming your way, right? People start seeing the value in you and say, oh, we would like to give you this opportunity. Can you do this with us? How can we do this? And this is exactly what happened on this opportunity. So I'm going to jump into this here. So, you know, one deal, I do think for the people that we have partnered up on this deal here, it's going to change the entire team. There's about 20 of them. 6 of them are very active in this. And of the 6, I think it's going to change their lives because they are the ones that are active here. So this is a property. And for some of you, you might follow me on my social media. Like the phase 1 of this thing is like super simple. What I've just done here is I have put in 0 capital. To me, I didn't, Rita and everyone in M5, we didn't put any money here. It's 0 for us. We are joint venturing here with our expertise to make this thing work, right? How big is this plot again, Rita?
I can't remember the hectares, but there's going to be 65 full title stands. It's like 8 hectares or 10 hectares or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's about 9, right? So around about 9 hectares of land, these guys bought about a year and a half ago. And they bought this thing for around about 2.3 million, right? out of our space. We didn't know them. And then boom, they came with this deal and says, guys, would like to join venture with you. What can we do here to do this thing? And we were like, okay, with our expertise of doing what we have done, we can do township development. It can be split 65 plots. What can we do on it? Hey, we can do A, B, C, D. And we're now digging in here with all of our expertise that we've got. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask of you this question. Someone approaches you on a deal. So the plots in this area generally sell for around about 700 to about $1 million, $1.2 million in this area of the same size of plots that they have put in now into the township. And I've put in a number here to say maybe we can sell at a minimum 500,000. So 500,000 one plot, that's about 65 of them. So that's just above 31 million, right? That's the value now of the plots before we even do anything else. And I want to ask you a question, right? You adding in value on this deal. This looks like a very sweet deal to me. What percentage would you ask to be in this deal? They have approached you. You've got this skill. There's about 31 million on the table. You've put in no money in here. I want to ask you the question, what percentage within the deal would you ask for? Would you ask for 1%, 10%, 50%? What would you ask for? It's you now, right? Makanye, Magadeline, Lendiwe, Linda, Rodman, Sizwe, Teddy, Tando. What would you ask for? Okay, I want to see your guys' comments in there, right? What would you ask for? That's the question that I'm asking there. What is fair to you, right? This is a deal that came through to you. Everything is sold. I mean, everything else is 100%. You are just there to give your expertise. They want to partner up with you, and you've got everything. You've got everything going, right? You've got everything going. You've got the team and everything else. Boom. Now, I see a lot of people, they're saying 15, 50%. If I think it's iffy, right? 50%. Wasn't iffy earlier on who said they wanted to get $1 million? I think it was, right? Someone is saying 5%, 30%, 50, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 25, 20, 20, 20, 15. Okay, so I see a lot of 15 and 20, right? Now, Rita, I want you to come back on here, girl. So
right.
I want to do this exercise, right? So we haven't put in any of our own money in here. And now we are doing business, and this deal is coming now, sitting on 31 million. Let's take an average, right? And the average is going to be 20%, right? Because the people have spoken. What is 20% on that deal of ours now? Because that's the asset in terms of our asset value. That's what we're going to get by just joining venture with these people. We didn't look for them, by the way. They looked for us. So they're willing to do business with us. So what is 20% of that? Because that's what's going to hit.
Yeah, that's going to be on the asset side.
Right.
$6.2 million.
Boom. So now you coming in today, and I'm saying to you guys, at 1,997, I can teach you all of this stuff. In the class, you come in 2 days. We'll go hard on this. On top of that, you get your mentoring. A whole year you're spending. There's a team of mentors that come in here. And on 1,997, you don't want to get to 14 million. I think there's something wrong there. I know it's not my product. It's a once-off. You paying 1,997, it's a once-off. And I'm dedicating my time. Everybody in my team dedicated to save you for the next 1 year. That's the Black Friday. Okay, that's the Black Friday that we're talking about. This is what you can achieve if you're going to dedicate yourself to learning. This is what you can achieve if you're dedicating yourself to doing. I'm not going to call you at your house and say, hey, did you go and view some properties? I'm not going to do that. In the mentoring call, we're just going to deal with it in there. I cannot ask you to get your bum off wherever you're sitting so that you can achieve the results, but I can give you the information. We guarantee you, information guaranteed you will get. The learning you will get. Okay? But we can't force you to do this. So on a once-off, 1,997. Yourself, because this is Black Friday. Black Friday is tomorrow, right? A lot of you are going to jump around. You're going to go to all of these places and buy perishable stuff. You're going to buy stuff that does not help you. Invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. 1,997. Yourself, you can come into the class, the one who's paying, plus the 2 people, they will be online. 12 months of mentoring, lifetime access of the bootcamp itself, you get it, okay? In my book, you're getting it for free, right? But this offer is gonna end on Saturday. So the 27th of November, you've got about, what, 48 hours to make a payment? That's what you've got, right? It ends on Saturday. Saturday, we are done. Guys, the entire team at M5 Property Addicts is there, dedicated to helping you grow. That is you on the bottom of the hill there. That's everybody at M5 Property Addicts. Later, she plays CFO in our business. Okay? Elize, she's there to make sure that all of the legals is there. She's the extension that will be an extension to you. Terence, he runs all of our student accommodation throughout the country. Bevan, he looks after all of our properties. Some of you have been interacting with Seth right now. He looks after your growth. So ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get yourself out of the way of your success. Sign up. It's not difficult. m5propertyaddicts.com/grow my business. That's what this is all about, to grow your business. Not mine, yours, right? So I'm hoping that I'll be seeing you in the class on the 11th and then the 12th. And some of you are sitting in a stock fail of sort or in a group of sort, and you want to come in. Make the payment. We'll see you. We'll help you to craft this thing. This team of mine, along myself, we will help you to get there. That's why we're here. Get yourself out of the way. Your success is waiting. But some of you, you're going to run. Friday, you're going to be in the queues. You're going to forget Corona is around. And you're going to be in the queues. Macro have already announced, they were in the newspaper of late, and they said, please, don't come. Don't stack up at the shops. When I read that article, I thought that was so funny, right? So they're saying, no, don't come to the shops because we're going to extend this thing for, I think they have extended it for like 2 weeks, I think. So it's Black Friday for 2 weeks. What are you going to buy? You're buying stuff that's going to expire. You're buying stuff that's going to finish off. I'm saying invest in yourself today so that for the rest of your life, you can pay any price. You're not compromised. You're not thinking about, oh, it's a Black Friday. I need to run to get the milk. No. Do what's important. Invest in yourself. But if you want to run to macro checkers and all of those things, do it. Does this make sense? I hope this makes sense. So the Black Friday is available. When is the class? On the 11th, on the 12th. It's a Saturday and a Sunday. It's running in Johannesburg. So for some of you who are going to be coming from out of town, you're going to come in Johannesburg, but you need to pay now because there is around about 20 hours of learning content that you need to learn before you come to class. So you need to pay them now. Besides the Black Friday that we're running, so you need to already pay now because you need to go through that content so that by the time you come into class, we're just hitting the ground running. Does it make sense? Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are already like, you know what, TJ, no thanks, I already invest in property. Well, I want to ask you the question. Are you sure that in your properties right now, when you die, they're going to transfer to the next generation? Are you sure of that? It's a yes or no answer. So if you're not sure, if it's not a yes or it's not a no, then you're not sure. So where do your legacy stand? You've got 2 properties or 3 properties, whatever you've got. If you die today, do you know that what's going to happen? That's what legacy is all about. If you're definitely sure on that, then you're sharp. But if you're not, you need to be in the class because we talk about structures, how to structure these things. There's so many tax benefits in property. At the moment, with your number of properties that you've got, do you even have any tax savings that you've got? Are you winning on that or not? If you're not, then you need to be in the class. Are you being profitable in your business? How can you run a business when you're not profitable? How can you run these properties anyway if they're not profitable? It's an investment, TJ. You know, it's a future investment. Really? But I've already shown you.
I want to add to this, right? Especially around the tax. So we in our business have never had to pay any tax to SARS ever. Okay. Yet today I got a money from SARS. SARS paid me. I don't pay SARS legally, guys. We're not doing anything illegal. But today SARS paid me 171,542 rands. And that is what knowing what you do with your taxes can do for you.
That's power. And SARS is already out there. You can jump on SARS website and you can see some of these tax advantages that you can do. It's public information. Jump on their website, see what it is, right? But if you don't know, you don't know. You're never going to win. I spoke of the legacy, that when you die, do you know what's going to happen? A lot of you think, oh yeah, I've got all these properties, TJ. But guess what? When you die, that's what's going to happen. My slide there. They're going to hit you with capital gains. They'll probably want to sell off some of those assets because maybe your life is complicated, right? And by the time that the government has taken everything else that belongs to them, the people that you're thinking you're leaving them with something, they're sitting on 45%. So is that legacy if you even get there to the 45%? So we want to help you sort this thing out so that you don't have to get to this state. It's all about structuring. That's all there is to it. So the Black Friday is coming up. I'm going to throw in a bonus for you for the people that are buying tonight. I'm going to throw in a bonus for you. The official recording of the Step Up conference, we'll throw that to you, okay? And over and above everything else that we're going to get. So for people that are buying tonight, so we'll see you on the 11th and the 12th. And that's the bonus that you're going to get. And I didn't speak to Seth or even Rita. I didn't speak to them about this bonus that I'm going to throw in. It's been in the backing. So actually my team is going to see this for the first time. It's been in the backing, but I am willing for those of you that are joining in on the Black Friday promo, I'm throwing in another promo, right? So my first book, this is my first book that's called From Bed Debt to Property Mogul, which is here. But I've got another book that's coming out. Yeah, I've got another book. And that book is called Be the First Millionaire in Your Family. It's not yet out. Okay, it's not yet out. That's the artwork that we've got. I still need to go to print. I am still reviewing. I think I'm probably within it's going to be releasing in December. So I've got a couple of days for me to finish it off in terms of the final edits with the copyrights and all of those. So the guys that are helping me out that deals with books. So we're at the finishing line. All right. I'm on my third review now. If I send this throughout to them, I'm left with around about 3-4 chapters to finish off the review. And if I send this throughout, we're ready for print. You will be getting this, the hard copy, in the class for you that are coming in. And if you're not coming in the class, I am happy. Let's see. Let me ask the CFO. Are we happy to courier this to them, even though they have gotten their from bed day to Property Mogul? Yes, no?
Okay, but only if they come in on the Black Friday special.
Okay, right. So that's my other bonus that I'm gonna throw into you guys. That book has been in the making. So be the first millionaire in your family, right? Like for me, I was the first, like there's no any other. So I've crafted this to help you. So that's the thing there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are sitting there, you're like wondering, sure, all of these things that TJ and Rita are talking about, it's just too much. And I can't get to all of this. Don't feel pressure. There are other deals that you can do whilst you're chilling. So let's assume you qualify for around about 2 million, 2.5 million at the bank at the moment, right? I can pass on some deals to you where you don't even need to do anything other than putting your credit line, your credit worthiness. So these are called no money down deals. So I'll give you an example. We've got some project that started off in June, and basically a build like this one, we've got 10 projects available. A project like this one, in the area, it generally sells for 3.8, right? And if we are to sell it at 3.2 even, for these ones, these are real life deals, there's a net profit to both of us on 600, right? If I'm to give you 50% of that and you give me your credit worthiness after attending my class for 1,997, would that make sense to you? How much return is that? 1,997. That's your investment. And boom, you make 300,000. What percentage of return is that? Isn't that great? I can pass on. This is the power of being with us in M5 Property Addicts. You can do this. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say to you, thank you for attending. Some of you will be seeing you in the class, which is great. If you do know anyone else who should be attending this, the recording is going to be available on our YouTube channel. They can jump on there, and where you can make the payment, the link has been sent out to you. We recommend that you already make your payment today, or the sooner that you can, because of the pre-course work that you need to go through. So once you make a payment, it's available. And by the way, if you're not able to make the payments online for whatever reason, I've met a couple of people that I said, TJ, we can't pay online. There are scammers out there. That's all right. You can call us on our helpline. You will see our helpline on our website, and we'll be able to send an invoice straight to you, right? We'll be able to send an invoice straight to you, and you can make the payment straight into our bank account, and we'll do the manual stuff to give you access to everything. But for some of you who are making the payment right now, okay, you should be able to already start your training tonight. So everything is automated there. You make a payment, access, you already get it, and you can already start learning. So ladies and gentlemen, it's been great hanging out with you tonight. We will see you in the class, for some of you whom we are going to be seeing in the class. And if you're sitting on the side of the bench and you are wondering what, if you can't pay 1,997 and you want to go into property where you're going to buy millions, I don't know whether you are in the right game. Maybe property it's not for you. You can't be stingy on 1,997, right? But anyways, we'll see you in the class. God bless. Cheers. Goodbye.